Well, it has not been a good 2 weeks for LeBron, AD, and company as the Lakers are mired in a tad bit of a slump here, losers of 6 of their last 8 games dating back to November 21st. But what's worse than the 2-6 record over that span is just how pathetic some of these losses have been. LA followed up their November 23rd 127-102 stomping at the hands of Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets with a 27-point loss in their very next game to the Phoenix Suns. They then, just 2 days ago, got their doors blown off by the Minnesota Timberwolves, losing by 29 in that one, and just when you thought it couldn't get any worse in Lakerland, a 41-point evisceration last night by the Miami Heat. And in case you weren't counting, that is now 4 losses by 25 points or more in the last 8 games played. But for old man LeBron, it's good news, bad news time. Sure, they got absolutely humiliated, but LeBron did break out of his little mini slump. He came into the game against Miami averaging just 18 points per game on 42% shooting from the field over the last 7, but broke out with a team-high 29 points last night. And, well, clearly that is all LeBron cared about, as he looked pretty good immediately following this one, all smiles, laughing it up on the sidelines after losing back-to-back games by a combined 70 points.
That's why you always stay even keel.
Yes, of course, we must stay even-keeled here. The Lakers have been outscored by 243 to 173 over the last 2 games. But make sure to get your hugs and handshakes in afterwards, Bron. Meanwhile, for poor JJ, this simply doesn't look like what he signed up for. This right here is a real gap of time, by the way, when asked a question in his post-game presser. Eventually, though, he would manage to get some semblance of a statement out.
It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. We're all embarrassed. It's not a game that I thought we had.
Yeah, not sure if JJ is a heavy drinker or not, but it's never too late to start. And actually, Redick is doing exactly what he should be doing here. Precisely what LeBron needs for him to be doing. Namely, looking like a wildly unqualified guy, way out of his depth without a single ounce of coaching experience at any level prior to taking this job. And accordingly, perfect fall guy, scapegoat type stuff out of him.
There has to be some ownership.
While the season is only about a quarter of the way over, it is difficult to dream up a lower point for the Lakers. This has to be rock bottom, right? They gave up an absolutely appalling amount of dunks and layups in this one before getting absolutely massacred by Tyler Herro's 7 3-pointer third quarter. But it wasn't just 7 threes in the third quarter, that would be 7 straight threes in the third quarter. I mean, feel free to play some semblance of defense at some point here. But, well, the Lakers did enter the night ranked just 24th in net defensive efficiency, so there is the glaring possibility this is just who the Lakers are. After the game, a very hungry-looking LeBron James had few answers.
I don't know. We got to figure it out.
But luckily, there were a plethora of snacks for him in the locker room to curb those hunger sharks. And he made at least one thing very evident. He agrees with everything JJ has said.
Everything. So don't ask me about what JJ said. Everything he said is correct.
Bear in mind, by the way, this game was in Miami, a kind of de facto homecoming, if you will. After all, Bron did take his talents to South Beach for 4 years, where he gravy trained 2 rings on that stacked super team. And incredibly enough, this wasn't the Kings' only hometown humiliation this season, as they got run off the court 134-110 when he and Bronny returned home to Cleveland. Speaking of those 19-3 league best Cleveland Cavaliers, they just recently lost back-to-back games to the Atlanta Hawks, who just won their 5th straight game and ended the sizzlingly hot Milwaukee Bucks' 7-game win streak. And the Lakers' next game, you might be wondering, yeah, on Friday night at Atlanta. As I said previously, it would be difficult to dream up a lower point, but for this team, it seems that anything is possible.